If you are 50 and you feel behind on retirement, this video is specifically for you. Not a general overview, not a list of things you should have done in your 30s. This is what you do right now, from where you are, with what you have. And here's the thing I want you to hear before anything else. 50 is not too late. In fact, 50 might be the most powerful starting point you have had in years. And I am going to show you exactly why. Quick note before we get into it, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor, CPA, or attorney, and this is not financial, legal, or tax advice. Full disclaimer is in the description. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about where most people actually are at 50, because the numbers are more common than you think. According to the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances, 54% of American households have no dedicated retirement savings at all. None. And for those who do have savings, the median retirement balance for households in their late 40s and early 50s is around $115,000. The average looks better at around $313,000, but averages get pulled up by a small group of high earners. The median is the real picture. By most financial benchmarks, you should have roughly 6 times your annual salary saved by age 50. For someone earning $75,000 a year, that is $450,000. Most people are not there. Not even close. So if you are sitting at 50 with less than you expected, you are not the exception. You are the rule. And that means there are real strategies built specifically for this moment. Here is what changes at 50 that most people do not fully take advantage of. The government recognized that people fall behind. So they built something called catch-up contributions specifically for people age 50 and older. And starting in 2026, these limits got even more generous. Here is what you can now put away every single year. In your 401k or 403b, the standard contribution limit is $24,500 per year. At age 50, you get an additional $8,000 catch-up on top of that. Total, $32,500 per year going into a tax-advantaged account. Now here is where it gets even better. If you are between ages 60 and 63, Secure 2.0 created what is called a super catch-up. Instead of the standard $8,000 catch-up, you can contribute an extra $11,250. That brings your total 401k contribution to $35,750 a year for that 4-year window. On the IRA side, the standard limit is $7,500 per year. At 50 and older, you get an additional $1,100 catch-up for a total of $8,600 per year in a traditional or Roth IRA. Combined, a 50-year-old maxing out both their 401k and their IRA can put away $41,100 per year in tax-advantaged accounts alone. That is not a small number. That is a serious catch-up opportunity. One important note for 2026. If you earned more than $150,000 in the prior year, the IRS now requires that your catch-up contributions go into a Roth account rather than a pre-tax account. This is a Secure 2.0 rule. It does not reduce how much you can contribute. It just changes the tax treatment. More on why that might actually work in your favor in a moment. Now let's talk about what you should actually do with this window, because maxing out the numbers is step 1, not the whole plan. Step 1, stop leaving employer match on the table. If your employer offers a 401k match and you're not contributing enough to get the full match, that is the single most expensive financial mistake you can make right now. An employer match is an immediate 50 to 100% return on your contribution before it is ever invested. Nothing else comes close. Fix this before anything else. Step 2, add the catch-up to your 401k immediately. Log into your 401k portal or call your HR department and increase your contribution to capture the full catch-up. If you have been contributing 10%, calculate what percentage of your paycheck gets you to the new limit. This one action can add tens of thousands of dollars to your retirement over the next 15 years through compounding alone. Let's put real numbers on that. If you are 50 and you invest an extra $8,000 per year in catch-up contributions for 15 years at a 7% annual return, that extra money alone grows to roughly $202,000 by age 65. That is just the catch-up portion. That is on top of whatever else you have already saved and contributed. Step 3. Open or fund a Roth IRA if you are eligible. For 2026, single filers can contribute to a Roth IRA if their income is below $168,000. Married filing, jointly the limit is $252,000. If you're under those thresholds, you can add up to $8,600 per year into a Roth IRA at age 50 or older. Why does Roth matter so much at this stage? Because money you put into a Roth grows tax-free and comes out tax-free in retirement. At 50, you have 15 years or more of tax-free growth ahead of you before you need to touch it. And unlike a traditional IRA or 401k, Roth accounts have no required minimum distributions. You're not forced to pull money out at 73 whether you need it or not. That gives you enormous flexibility in retirement to manage your tax bill, your healthcare subsidies, and your income. Step 4. Eliminate high-interest debt aggressively and redirect it. If you're carrying credit card debt at 20 or 25% interest, no investment return on earth beats paying that off first. A guaranteed 20% return by eliminating that debt is more powerful than almost anything you can do in the market. Once it is gone, redirect every dollar you were paying toward your retirement accounts. Step 5. Get real about your retirement spending number. Most people at 50 have never actually calculated what they need to retire. They have a vague idea. A number they heard somewhere, but they have never built a real projection. Here's a simple starting point. Take your current annual spending, subtract anything that goes away in retirement like work commuting costs, savings contributions, and any debt you expect to pay off. Multiply what remains by 25 using the rule of 25 we have covered in previous videos. That gives you your baseline retirement target. If you are starting that calculation at 50 with $115,000 saved, and your target is $1.5 million, you have a gap of $1.385 million and 15 years to close it. At a 7% annual return, closing that gap requires investing roughly $4,600 a month. That is aggressive. It may mean significant lifestyle changes, but it is a real number, and a real number gives you a real plan. If $4,600 a month is not realistic, then the conversation shifts to other variables. Can you work until 67 instead of 62? Can you reduce your retirement spending target? Can you increase your income over the next several years? These are the actual questions worth answering, and none of them can be answered without first knowing your number. Step 6. Consider working a few more years strategically. Every year you work past 62 does 3 things at once. It adds another year of contributions and investment growth to your portfolio. It reduces the number of years your portfolio needs to last, and it increases your eventual Social Security benefit if you delay claiming. Delaying Social Security from age 62 to age 70 can increase your monthly benefit by up to 76%. On a $2,000 monthly benefit, that is the difference between $2,000 and $3,520 every single month for the rest of your life. Guaranteed, inflation adjusted for life. If you can keep working and keep investing through your mid to late 60s, the combination of larger contributions, less time in retirement to fund, and a significantly higher Social Security benefit can close a retirement gap that looked nearly impossible at 50. Step 7. Diversify your account types now before it is too late. If all of your retirement savings are sitting in a traditional 401k, every dollar you withdraw in retirement is taxable income. That affects your tax bracket. It affects your Medicare premiums. It affects your ACA subsidy eligibility if you retire before 65. Spreading your savings across pre-tax accounts, Roth accounts, and a taxable brokerage account gives you flexibility to manage your income in retirement in a way that a single account type simply cannot. The earlier in your 50s you start building that diversification, the more flexibility you will have by the time you actually retire. Here's the bottom line. Being behind at 50 is not a life sentence. The catch-up contribution rules exist because Congress recognized this is exactly when people need them most. The FIRE number math still works in your favor if you are willing to be intentional. The Social Security delay math is one of the most powerful financial tools available to anyone over 50. And compound growth, while not as dramatic as it is at 25, still has 15 years to work for you. The mistake most people make at 50 is feeling so far behind that they stop doing anything at all. They get overwhelmed and freeze. The people who close the gap are the ones who stop comparing themselves to where they should have been and start working with exactly where they are. That is the move. Start now, not with a perfect plan, with the next right step. If this video gave you something useful, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to hear this. And check out my videos on how much you actually need to retire, the optimal order to fund your retirement accounts, and traditional IRA versus Roth IRA. All linked in the description. Drop a comment below. Where are you right now with your retirement savings, and what is the one thing you are going to do differently this week? Let me know where you are with it. Until next time, keep building.